So as your general advice for both, your love spread and also the other spread that deals with other areas of your life, I feel like whatever advice you've been giving another person, and I feel like it's a constant, like over and over and over and over again, you're giving advice to another person, and they might not have listened to what you had to say. They might not have heeded your advice, but they might not feel like you're justified or you're the expert, so that they don't need to take your advice. This is the week where you're going to get some type of a coming back. The person might be coming back and tell you, just verbally or even non-verbally, that you know what, you were right, I was wrong, I should have listened to your advice. They might say that outright, or if they're a little bit more proud or a little bit more defensive, they might say like, you were right, without further comments as to what exactly happened that made you believe that I was right. So I feel like you're going to get some confirmation in that arena. I see it in your love relationships. I also see that energy playing out in friendships, family relationships as well. And I see it playing out in your professional environment as well. And I feel like the best strategy for you is to kind of just, stand there and look, okay, for this week. Don't beat a dead horse. So that means, don't if they're refusing to listen, just kind of let them go on their merry way, because sooner or later they're going to come to the realization that you were right. And then I also feel an element here about not gloating. I don't feel that you're going to do that, because when you give advice, it does come from the heart. And oftentimes, no matter how much somebody frustrates you, when you care about them, that's when you will give advice. If you don't care, you wouldn't waste your time. And so you do care about someone. And that's why your advice comes without strings attached. You do want them to take things to heart and to, do the right thing, or to, walk on the right path. But you're not going to gloat if they mess up or if they veer off track because they deviate from what you told them to do. So anyways, in your relationship sector, this is the energy that you bring to the table. We have here the King of Wands. And this is a really, really strong energy that you exude for this week. This is somebody that knows how to prioritize. They know how to organize. They know how to get things done. And this shows a lot of leadership capability. So I feel like for many of you, you have really established yourself as a major player in your relationships, in your life, in your work environment, in your friendship circle. You're somebody that leads other people. You've been there, you've done that. And I feel like from the sheer amount of experience that you have gathered through your lifetime, you know where you stand. You know how to lead people. You know how to navigate situations and circumstances based on your real life experiences. And when I see this king, he has a shield. He has a sword, and he's got that little rod there. But what it means is it's somebody that is not afraid to get their hands dirty. They don't call themselves a leader, and when the going gets rough, they run away from battle. They're there in the trenches with the people that they lead to fight, to the end. And so they don't run away from battles. They're very courageous, and they themselves, they have a sense of loyalty to the people that they lead. So whatever values or whatever, life path that you live by, whatever you live by, you die by. So it's like you're not going to give somebody advice that you don't yourself believe in. So I feel like there is no pretenses here. There's no hypocrisy, and people sense that about you. And I feel like because of that, you're in a really good position to kind of like to be a very good relationship partner, because other people believe that no matter what, whatever you say is what you stand by. So there's no mixed messages. There's no like, I like you, but I don't like you today. Like there are no mixed signals. There are no mixed messages that you're sending. You're very clear about your expectations in relationships, and you're very clear about what you are demanding or asking of another person. I usually think of this as somebody who has children, somebody who's like who might be in a relationship with children, but I also feel with this card, it's someone who's single, okay? So you might be a single parent, a single mother, a single father with children. You might have, exes that you've had children with. You might have been married to them at one point or just, in a relationship with them. But this is somebody that has children, and if not, then this is somebody that's single. So for many of you, the energy is you are very single for this week. And I feel like that's what I'm tapping into. The partner you're dealing with is somebody who's a little bit more wishy-washy. So their energy is prayer will make it all better. Let's not go out and get our hands dirty. Let's just sit in one place and pray. Pray for things to get better. Pray for improvement. Pray for opportunities. And I feel like your energy is in opposition to what your partner is dealing with here with the Judgment card. And I feel like, you don't mind getting your hands dirty. You do what needs to be done because it needs to be done. And you don't wait around for opportunities. You go and grab opportunities, or you go and scavenge and find opportunities. And I feel like in the love department, you take initiative and you're very clear about dictating, hey, this is what I'm looking for in a relationship partner. This is what I really want. And whereas the other person is a little bit more like, let's wait on things. Let's wait around. Let's wait for another day. Let's wait for the right time. Let's wait for the right circumstances. I feel like they're very, very unclear about what they want. They might even believe in, divine timing, and they might even believe in like things would just magically plop down and fall on their lap. And I feel like for some of you, you might be dealing with someone who you feel is not very practical or pragmatic. You feel like their heads are in the clouds, and they're really not manifesting and making things happen for themselves. And yes, the Judgment card is all about contact. There's communication back and forth between you and this person. But I also feel like you have given them advice. You have told them, you should do this, you should do that. And they're like, no, let's wait. Let me sort things out on my end. Or, let me just do this other thing. And they never get around to doing what they're supposed to, or they never get around to doing what you have advised them or counseled them on. And as a result of it, dealing with them can be a little bit frustrating because they're not taking the initiative. They're not as grounded, and they don't grab opportunities when opportunities come calling. And so they let a lot of opportunities pass them by. The interaction between you and your partner, I have here the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands mainly dictates your energy as the fire sign. Okay, so the Nine of Wands is like somebody who's battle weary, and they're not sure, like, should I keep plugging away at this? It doesn't seem like there's any movement. Or should I cut my losses and try to move away? And in the traditional Rider-Waite deck is that man with the bandage on his head, and he's got 9 rods, and he's kind of battle weary, and he's just kind of paranoid. What I feel though is you're assessing, you're being pragmatic. You're being like strategic as well. Do I plug away at this relationship? Do I continue giving them advice? Do I continue to, play the role of the father, even though they're supposed to be my relationship partner? Do I take on this maternal, take them under my wings and take care of them and just protect them? Or do I need to find myself another partner? So I feel like for some of you, single or not, you might have a love interest that's a little bit, they're just very different from you. But I do see this element about you giving advice over and over and over again, and they're not really taking the bait, or they feel like, oh, I'll just wait it out. Everything's going to work itself out, and they don't really, it basically absolves them of having to take initiative for their own life. So I do feel somebody that has been through, I feel, their fair share of disappointment. So for example, if it's a partner and they're not able to get a job, right? Just an example. If they're not able to get a job and you tell them, for you, it's very easy because you come from a different space. But I feel like for them, it's a little bit more difficult because they've gone through possibly, months of interviewing and never getting called back. And then they've gone through like a lot of resume revision, right? And they're tired. And just think about it. If it's like, if someone has gone through 9 interviews, right? All from different companies, all with different people, and they have been turned down 9 times. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really hard to say that, oh, I'm not qualified for the job. I feel like the reality of it is they don't like me. 9 separate companies, 9 separate interviewers, 9 separate situations didn't want me. It's very tragic for the ego. It's very demoralizing. And I feel like that's similar to the space that your partner is dealing with or coming from, where there's something that they're not able to admit to themselves. And I feel like when it's denial, or when it's like, things that they're glossing over, whoever it is, they have to come to terms with it on their own time. They have to come to terms with it in their own way. And so you can talk and advise and tell them to your blue in the face, but until they're able to admit these certain things about themselves, it's really hard for them to make changes, right? It's really hard for us to make changes when we're in denial. And so I feel like, for some of you, this might play out in the realm of, my partner is not able to get a job. And I told my partner, do this, do that, but they're not listening, and you're getting frustrated. And I just want you to understand what your partner is dealing with potentially. And then for others, it's sort of like you might have a partner that's very naive, and their head is just in the clouds. They're distracted. They might seem like they're always, they're always late. They don't seem like, they might be always late. They might be very, very just, they might not be very affectionate. And time again, you told them, I want more affection. I want things to change. I feel very much by myself, like I'm a single person, even though I'm dating you. And I feel, like you tell them many, many times. And this might be the week where they come in and try to make some changes, okay? Because I feel like change is coming for you. So I have here this is the Knight of Pentacles. This is somebody coming in, making an offer, making amends, trying their best to appease you, trying to bring something substantial to the table. So if it's a partner who has been out on their luck when it comes to work, they're going to hear good news. And I feel like that's going to help them, because they're going to either take your advice or do something to initiate things from their end. Either way, taking your advice so that they can get things started in their own life, okay? And then if it's a partner that has been estranged, either they're traveling, they're not around, and you feel like, I'm with them, but I'm so single. I'm with them, but I feel like I'm just single because they're not giving me the affection, the attention. They're not physically here. They're coming back into the picture with good news. They've done a lot of work on themselves. And I feel like sometimes it takes that distance away from the people and the things that we love and the things and the people that we're familiar with, for us to make some changes, for us to really see ourselves from a different context, in order to know what we need to figure out, in order to know what we need to work on, in order to know what we need to change about ourselves. So I feel like there's a realization coming through. For others of you, if you've been hoping and praying for a relationship, we have the Death card here, which is a change. So this is a change around. If you're single, you're going to be in a relationship. If you're in a relationship, you might be single. So there's a change around. It doesn't denote, any specific direction, but I feel for a majority of you, there's a couple relationship coming through. It's on the offer for you. And I do feel like many of you are going to go through the month of October, starting to come together with another person and starting to couple up with another person, okay? If you're dealing with a Scorpio with this Death card, there's some good news coming around for the two of you, for both of you. If you're dealing with an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, there's an offer coming through, and I feel like it's going to be very good, very stable. It's slow. You might have been waiting for it. They might have been waiting on you, but I feel like there is a coming together. In other areas of your life, there will be a lot of get-togethers, okay? Get-togethers with old friends, get-togethers with old colleagues, get-together with like family members, but I feel more so friends, colleagues, like people you used to work with, people you used to go to school with, more in a more social, professional type of a setting, not so much family. I also feel like travel and movement coming to see people, people traveling and moving to come see you. And I feel like these are long standing, significant friendships, okay? I feel like these people have been around with you through a very important milestone in your life. And I say that because of the Six of Cups. This is a flashback from the past, walking down memory lane, recalling, like a lot of fun times between you and another person. And I'm always drawn to this tear, the person is crying. So it's like really good times to be had, reunions with other people, and it's linked up with the Three of Cups, which is social engagement, social outings, being the life of the party, and hearing really, really good news about the people that you've used to, hang around with, or hearing through the grapevines like, oh, so and so is doing this, so and so is married, so and so has a baby, things like that. And I feel like it's a really, really nice like walk down memory lane. And I do see social engagement happening for you guys where you're going to run into people from your past. All are good people. I don't see like, the past coming back to haunt you. And I feel overall you have so much career and achievements and, just positivity in your financial and professional sector that sometimes when we don't want to go to high school reunions, or we don't really want to meet up with old friends if we feel like we haven't made it, right? So some of us, and I feel for you guys especially, the fixed signs, you, Scorpio, Taurus, and Aquarius, you want your career to speak for you. You want to be like, hey, the envy of the party. And I feel like if you haven't made it professionally, you're very weary about these reunions. But I feel like right now you're in a good space. You're where you need to be professionally. A lot of doors are opening for you. So you're at a point where you're like, okay, I'll be there. I'll be at this reunion. I want to talk about what I'm doing. I want to talk about these projects I'm handling. I want to talk about all my responsibilities that people entrust me with. Not in the spirit of bragging, but in the spirit of, I'm really proud of the person that I am today. I'm really proud that despite everything that I've been through, that, I made it. And I'm entrusted with a lot of responsibilities. I'm seen as someone who's competent, and I've created a name for myself. So I feel like you're going to be the life of the party, and you're going to be, you're going to have a lot to offer. You're going to have a lot to say, and you're going to have a lot of people admiring you and possibly even envious, but not in a bad way. They're not jealous and vindictive. I feel like they look at your life with envy, and they're going to just be really glad, or just to be very happy for you. Okay. So there's a lot of travel and movement that's coming in with this Eight of Wands too. And this is like uh, travel by air, travel over waterways, so across the continental US to another state. And I also feel like work travel, work demands and things like that, possibly even traveling with another partner and having the means to do recreational travel, travel for leisure rather than just business. So I feel like if you're not even traveling this week, it's going to be played out, through the month of October, where there will be a lot of these engagements, offers, and social outings and things that are coming into the picture. I'm seeing you possibly living in a colder climate, going to somewhere that's a little bit warmer. And I also feel like overnight, like a red eye type of a plane ticket, where you might be as well move, like going to another country where you have to, sleep overnight on a plane. So I do see those elements coming through. And I also feel like, if you're connecting with people from your past, you have a lot to say, and you have a lot of wisdom and advice, possibly in the career front, that you can give them. And I feel like you need to give them these advice because they're going to be thankful for it. Okay.